Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Divine Journey. So, since last episode, I have done a bit of work. I've done a lot of automation. Wrong thing. I did add 4 more alloy smelters in, and those all 4 are set to make Dark Solarium. So we have 4 doing all of these, and 4 doing Dark Solarium. Just really quickly, I'm going to move Enderium Base down here. So we have Enderium being made in one and Enderium Base in the other, but... Anyways, moving on, we have all of the quantum, or whatever, what is it? Quantum Flux, right? Yeah, okay. I was losing my mind, I couldn't remember the name of the mod, but Quantum Flux, all that stuff is automated, and I'll show you how that's done in just a moment. Also, like glowstone elevation kits, redstone energy cell frames, everything related to our jetpack. I also had to set up 8 more molecular assembler interface setups. And because we were out of space, and I mean, you could see I've almost filled up. Yeah, I've got like 4.5 interfaces left on that setup. I did go ahead and automate like crafter tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, a lot of stuff that we'll be able to use a bit later on. Phytogenic insulators, because we're going to be using those, and all sorts of stuff, all sorts of things. If we pop out here, there we go. There's another one of those. Over here, our singularities, we have 8 of them built up now. So, see, I told you, like, once we get them set up, they're going to be making, and we're always going to have them now. Over here, this is how I've set up the Quantum Flux item fabricators. So, basically what it is, they all use just one channel. And right here, there's an interface with all 5 patterns. And it just pumps into a chest right here. And then that chest comes up. The item columns come up on the green line. They pump into the side. They can't pump into the top, by the way. It has to be a side face for the items to insert. And then each of these is filtered for, like, for example, this is silica, so block of quartz and sand. Over here we have, the ender crystal. That's ender pearls and redstone and so on. So each item fabricator is in charge of making one specific item. Because the item fabricators only have 5 recipes in total. So, and they're very slow. There's really no way to speed them up. So I was like, well, since we have so many recipes here, like, for example, advanced circuit is blank circuit and mystic quartz, and of course blank circuit is silica and paper. So there's, especially the advanced circuits, you have multiple things that have to go through the item fabricator to make the final tier. So I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and give each recipe its own dedicated item fabricator. And I also added in the Dimensional Anchors mod, because I like this mod. Basically, you can set your Dimensional Anchor, change the size of it right here, so I could say 1 by 1 and so on. I did go through and change out nearly all the chunks. I think the only thing that's chunk loaded is one small section of the Oreberry farm I haven't changed over yet, and then our nether pump is the only thing that is still loaded with FTB utilities. So, what I'm doing is I'm claiming the chunks, so they're still claimed as to Asgard, just so I know where my chunk loaders are. So I know that anything that's in green is chunk loaded through Dimensional Anchors. Just makes it a little bit easier keeping up with that kind of stuff. So, I did add that. I was looking in the configs for the Mine Factory Reloaded config option, to where you can have them just use less power, because honestly, I mean, over 1,000 RF per tick, per chunk, is just, it's a bit excessive. That's one thing I'm not a big fan of the MFR, the chunk loaders. But another major issue that I have with them is the fact that if I was to put one, say, in another dimension, because we will be doing some stuff in other dimensions that we want chunk loaded, if I put them in another dimension and I come back to the overworld, I log off, then I log back in, I'm going to have to go back to that dimension to get that chunk loader running again, because just the way MFR does it. I don't think they've ever changed that. I believe that's still an issue with it. Because I seem to remember it being an issue on something else in the past. I can't remember. But anyways, so I did just add Amoebus Core and Dimensional Anchors. They're very, very stable chunk loaders, and I do quite like those. So, and I automated them and everything, just because the nature of how I build and stuff, I need a lot of chunks. Also, you'll notice some stuff down here is missing. The controller slave here and the storage bus isn't connected and all that. Basically, I ran a dense purple line, and it comes all the way up through this building, And you'll see it runs right up through there. And it goes all the way to the top. Oh, and this, where all that ugly setup was, it's all been moved upstairs as well. So we can actually move through this area and whatnot. And so if we take a look up here, basically this is what I have set up. I have a fluid pipe that pumps out the sludge and the lava. Just over here. This is temporary. We will eventually have a fluid control center. But for right now, that's fine. Because that's really the only fluids is liquid XP, sludge, and lava that we're dealing with at the moment. And then I have a tesseract sitting here. It's plugged into this chest. Basically just being next to the chest, it can pump its items out. And then from there, we have the transfer node enchanted that goes into the library. And then back here, we have our trash can set up. And then this chest pumps out and goes into the controller slave, which also has the storage bus. So it's just more compact. It's not, this isn't permanent, but this is temporary for now. I will make some adjustments and kind of clean this up, but I just wanted to get it out of our way on that lower section because it was a lot of like hallway clutter or walkway clutter. So today is going to mark pretty much the end of our automation spree that we've been on. I feel like we're getting to where we've got everything that we need to really progress automated. You know, we've got the ore processing, we've got the enchantments, we've got all the machines we need to make the alloys to really start progressing with blood magic and all that stuff. So today we're going to be doing a bunch of just wrap-up steps. Little bitty projects. I've went ahead and I've prepped a lot of things, gotten things ready, automated. One other thing I want to show you is right down here. This is one of the projects that I've been working on since last episode. Now it's not done. I've got to do decorations off on this side and kind of close this off. But basically this is going to be our prison. And we're probably going to work in here definitely next episode. Briefly. Very, very briefly. There's just one thing I want to set up real quick in here. We might get to it this episode. I'm not for sure. But we have like a little prison here. I've got some barricaded little mine type area. And then up in here we have kind of like... if you're familiar with the mod Witchery, you probably know what's going to go down here, judging by this little building. This isn't the exact building that spawns in the world, but I kind of made like a little adjustment to the design to kind of fit my needs and my style in this area. But this is going to be, this little room here is just going to be a small little hobgoblin work camp. So down in the prison area. So right here we have a statue. This is Osmith, and I did cheat in this Tinker staff. I did cheat that in because I don't think that we can craft that just yet. I don't believe. And then he's also got a flint dagger kind of holding it. And I'm going to have a goblin down here mining, and we'll get into that in just a minute, but I think it's going to be a bit of fun. And then right up here is kind of his like his little desk area, I guess. I don't know if he needs a desk, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to give him like a place to sit down and stuff. I don't know if I like the metal desk though. I don't know. I was going to put some like metal on here, like ingots, but they wouldn't place on the desk. They'd only place on the ground from DecoCraft. So I was like, I don't know. So I'm still kind of working on that. Just the nice thing about DecoCraft stuff is if you make something you don't like it, you throw it back in the DecoCraft bench and you get all your resources back. So it's no big deal to make things and then change your mind on it. And this is a curtain from Melissa's doors. It doesn't actually lead anywhere at the moment. And right here is one of the big medieval doors from Melissa's doors. I love these doors. Absolutely love them. And if you're curious as to how to craft them, I know Melissa's doors isn't in the pack by default, but I know I've had questions in the past about how to craft those. Carriage doors, which is the other big 4x5? Yeah, 4x5 door. That one is 5 blocks of any kind. And eventually they changed it so you can stack them, but in 1.7 version it has to be 5 blocks of any kind spread out on a crafting grid, and then a oak door, and then the medieval door, which is this one, is a spruce door instead of an oak door. But you can see they take the whatever block you put in there, so you can put 5 of whatever block you want. It needs to be the same block, but then it'll take that design on the outside. I've still got a lot of work to do on the mine. It's one of those projects that's like really redundant because I've got to go through and for one, I'm probably going to change out all the stairs. So I've got to go through and, I mean, I can vein mine the stairs, but then I got to go through and place all the stairs, and it's going to take a little bit. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be doing today, which is wrapping up our automation. And I will say that I'm really excited for post this episode, because this is really the point where we're transitioning in the pack. You know, we briefly started blood magic before, but it was very, very briefly just to get some things that we needed related to tech. But episode 19, this is going to be kind of our transitional period from tech focus within the pack. So much tech right now. But we'll be transitioning from tech then into magic and more exploration. I am planning on doing the Between Lands in the next few episodes, starting that. So that's going to be fun as well. But we're going to be, probably after this episode, doing a lot of exploration with Divine Journey and doing a lot of blood magic. Alright, so before we get started, we have some quests to turn in. 5 quests while I was automating things and doing things. First up, the crafters. Okay, we've got a basic backpack for the crafter tier 1, an iron backpack for the crafter tier 2, and then a gold backpack for the crafter tier 3. And then down here, this is stuff that I had to automate while automating and prepping everything for our jetpack. So we have tougher on the edges for making a hardened energy cell frame. We get 2 glistening melons. And then brighter on the edges, we get the ender sword. Now this quest here, I haven't really had any reason to do it. We may just knock it out today, just for the sake of knocking it out. But if you look, all this is used to craft is the resonant energy cell frame, and that is used to craft nothing. So, I mean, that thing stores 80 million RF, so, it's good storage, but we also have vibrant, and, I don't know. We'll probably make one of those just for the sake of it, but to make the jetpack, I had to tier these things up, but these don't require any kind of a cell frame, Enderium cell frame, so. And I'll probably end up upgrading those backpacks for when we go exploring dimensions next episode. That's right, we're exploring dimensions next episode. So let's go ahead and take a look at our jetpack. And everything's ready to go. You know, we talked about all this stuff last episode. It's all pretty straightforward. I automated almost everything on here. I didn't automate like thrusters, no big deal, and I didn't automate the flux packs. We're going to have to make another one of these later on, but for right now, or actually we'll have to make a couple of these, I think. But anyways, it's all pretty straightforward as far as how to craft it. So let's go ahead and grab our jetpack. Let's break that down. And we get back our Enderium armor plating. And then... Oh, wait. We don't need to break this down, in fact. My bad. This has to be armored. But that is going to make the flux-infused jet plate. This thing is a monster. I'm super excited to have this thing. I will say it doesn't look quite as cool as the Resonant one does, but... It is an absolute beast. So look at that. Look at that speed. It's crazy. Let me go charge this thing up real quick. Throw it into there. And this thing has a massive 50 million RF storage. Like the last one had a 10 million storage. So it's a huge jump. I mean, look at it draining this thing off. It's insane. Okay, it's at almost 40 million. I'm going to pull that off for right now. Now you'll notice up at the top left it has engine, hover, and now charger. And what charger does is it can charge tools in my inventory. So for example, if I was to pick up these crafting tables, you can see that it doesn't take any power from our Madoc. Let's see, we have 37,069,050. And if I break this stuff, you can see now we have 37,068,598. So now my tools are going to pull from that jetpack as opposed to just pulling from the tool energy. But there is a way to disable that. Just a hotkey you can set under simply jetpacks. So, but look at the speed when I fly. Like this is when flying gets fun because you have just an absolute ton of speed that you can use. Okay, and that has completed a quest under gadgets. Flux infused jet plate, 2 diamond spikes. Which those will come in handy a little bit later. Not this episode, but I'm saying I'll use them at some point. And you can see that we still need to craft this jetpack as well. And I'm probably going to just work on that off camera because it's just basically the exact same thing except using a lot of Ender IO stuff instead of thermal expansion. So, and once we get that jetpack, then we can craft ourselves the Angel Ring. And this thing really isn't that expensive. You can see right here we are going to have to kill the Wither a few times, and whenever we start heading towards that, we're going to upgrade our Division Sigil in order to get our Angel Ring. But for right now, I'm happy with the Tier 5 jetpack. Plus, the Tier 5 jetpack actually, the Angel Ring's nice because it doesn't have a power requirement, but the Tier 5 jetpacks, you actually fly a lot faster. So it really just depends on what you want. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to finish up a lot of our library build. Which, of course, well, now we have 9 singularities. There we go. Which, of course, we were waiting on singularities, and then I've got to get into a little bit of Ender IO stuff to do this. But let's go ahead. We've got 10 quantum rings, 2 quantum link chambers. I'll get that running anyways. And we are going to want to get ourselves some TNT. And I'm going to go ahead and encode it, because I have plans for that in the future. So might as well. Once we start getting into Britannia, which is, it's a ways away, but I think we're going to do a little bit of power with Intrapenium's mana production. So I might as well go ahead and automate that. And then we're going to want, it's like Ender Dust. But it's not called Ender Dust. But anyways, I can't recall what the exact name is off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to run it through a sag mill. Ender Pearl Powder. That's what it is. Ender IO's Ender Pearl Powder. And I'm going to go ahead and automate that process just so we can order it next time. There we go. And throw that in there. Okay. So we've got that. And we've got our Singularity, our TNT, our Flint and Steel. So let's go find ourselves a place to blow this up. Oh, no. You know what? Let's put that there. The Creeper Trophy. That. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. We don't even need the TNT. Okay. So TNT, or any kind of explosion, Creeper Trophy works as well. And then the Ender Pearl Dust and the Singularity, and then you get 2 Quantum Entangled Singularities. And our Quantum Rings are done. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. And what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just enchant these. Or, not enchant them, sorry. I'm going to name them. So we're going to say that this is going to be Library Connection. So that way these always have the same name, because of course these singularities, you want to make sure and never get them mixed up, because these will only ever connect to each other. So if I got 2 other singularities, they're not going to connect. They are basically bound to one another and only to one another. So then what I want to do is let's set up, let's see, this is send receive. Okay. Well, actually, it's not going to need power. Okay, let's do that. There we go. And I'm just going to connect this up to the purple line. And let me go ahead and grab some Fluix cable as well. Go ahead and give me like 20. And while we're waiting on that to get crafted, let's pop up here. And I'm going to set this up. I think for right now, because I'm going to eventually change this over probably to P2P. Well, the library is not going to need P2P really. So the library will probably be the same connection, because it's only going to have, I think, 2 channels that the library is going to use. That comes to mind. I mean, we may have end up adding a couple other things, but for right now, I'm just going to set this up like right here. So Quantum Ring just like that, and then Quantum Link Chamber right there, and then we just have to plug in our dense cable line. So we're going to bring this up, and it needs to plug into one of the cardinal ring pieces. And then we just take our Singularity, throw it into there, and that one's ready to go. So then we're going to have to pop over and set up the other one. Let's see if my Fluix is done. And we're ready to set up the AE2 stuff. Very, very simple to do. Quantum, I love Quantum in AE2, and it's very, very easy to set up. So let's pop up here. And I'm going to have the Quantum Ring set up, I think right here for now. That's subject to change, but for right now, it's going to sit right there. And let me grab Ender Energy Conduits. Okay. And I'm just going to break this off, because we're going to run some cable through here. Alright, so what we're going to have to do to plug this up on this end is plug up energy to it for starters. So I'm just going to run a little bit of this Ender Energy Conduit over. And then we're going to have to plug up an energy acceptor, which I did forget to bring. We do have one crafted, though. I believe it's in our AE system. the one that we used to use. So then all we have to do is just put our energy acceptor right there. And there we go. It kicked on. The blue lights are on. That means that it has power. And then what we need to do is just put our singularity into there, and now these two are connected. Alright, so what we're going to do is let's take some of this glass cable, and we are just going to run a connection over from this quantum ring, and we're going to connect it up to an export bus on the bottom of this. I don't think... yeah, I'm out of books. Okay. One other thing that I'm going to need. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop down here our export bus. Let's say you export books, and you have a crafting card. And we'll just go ahead and throw a book in there so I can start running. Is this thing backed up at all? No. And I've almost emptied the chest. I've emptied most of the chests over at the 82 building. So it's nice. Okay. So we'll get that plugged up. And then this should begin crafting books for us and pumping them into here. So there's 2. And it's going to use one right now, but there's another 2. And then there's 3. So eventually it's going to fill up this auto disenchanter with books. And it's going to keep this thing stocked with books so that we don't have to worry about it anymore. You know, we have tons of leather. We have paper coming in. That's not a problem. And now we can continue disenchanting everything. And if you look in here, I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff I have to sort. These power books, 25 power 1 books, those are all overstock. All overstock books. Like, I've got a lot of this stuff sorted. You can see that power 1, unbreaking 1, unbreaking 2 are all filled up already. Oh, and protection 2 is all filled up. So I've got to sort a few more of these books onto here. I'm just kind of doing it between episodes and getting all of that set up. Alright, and then the next thing I want to do is let's just plug up a terminal connection so that we can access our AE2 system when we're over here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have it setting... I don't know. I don't know. I might end up hiding that. Like pushing it back and have the quantum link hidden and then just have the terminal. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I changed my mind. I don't want this here. I just don't think it looks that great. Because I don't want like cables sticking out. Okay, so like that. And then what we can do is, let's see, we would have a cable facade here because this would be the wall, right? Or I guess for this section, this would be the wall right here. So we'll have this kind of come through, and then we'll just plug in a crafting terminal. And then whenever I facade this is going to stick out. This is going to kind of stick through the wall. So we'll have our terminal access port right here. And it says device missing channel. It's crazy because it's not. Okay. And that way we just have a connection over here because I'm going to start plugging up connections like to the blood magic area and to this area. Once we set the potion area, we'll have a connection there and so on. Just so we have access to our AE system all over, because there is the wireless crafting grid, but the Infinity Booster card, which is the one that we would really, really want so that we can access the AE2 system anywhere, it requires corrupted draconium, which takes awakened draconium, rammed with sludge, and then it also takes super storage components. Wireless boosters actually aren't that bad. We could craft these right now. And then nether quartz singularity. So, which, if I recall correctly, the compressor itself, is it expensive? Yes. A little bit expensive. It takes nether star blocks, so it'll be a little while for that. Okay, anyways. So the quantum connection is set up. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to make an inventory panel from Ender.io. And this is what we're going to do just for kind of a little change of pace. We're going to use the inventory panel to access kind of as a book catalog system. Okay? And I've got pretty much everything automated for this. The only thing, I just have to order a pressurized fluid tank. So there we go. There's our inventory panel. And then this is what we're going to need a lot of these conduits for. Alright, and the next thing that I want to get is I want to get about 20 remote awareness upgrades. I don't need that many right this second, but I do need some. So there we go. That's all 6 of them. That's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our, let's see, here's my item conduits. I'm going to grab like a stack of these. And what if I had the panel setting, I don't know, it's going to be like lopsided because this panel places differently than this panel, but this would be in front of the wall, so we'll have it here and then I might change it. We'll see. But Anyways, that'll be fine for now. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to plug this into this network system. This item conduit system. So let's go right through here. This is why I hit all this, because there's just all kinds of, like, every kind of wire that you could imagine is going to be here. I'll go ahead and dump that XP. Okay, so we'll just bring this conduit line over, plug it into that, and then what we have to do is go through and connect these up with remote awareness upgrades. So we'll dump, say, one into here, and you'll notice they go in this slot here below the filter. And we're going to do it for each of these blue lines. So the first bookshelf is done. There were 6 connections on that one. That's fine. We'll leave that alone for just a second, because now we have to set up a system to keep this filled. If you notice, there's a tank right here. It requires nutrient distillation. So, of course, we're already creating nutrient distillation over at our mob farm area. So that's where we're going to head to next. Is we're going to kind of spruce up that system and fully automate it. Alright, let me get this netherwort grown, because it does require pure darkness. There we go. And then let me go get a couple crop sticks. And we're going to crossbreed this really, really quick, because we need some mushroom spores. So, crop sticks. Let me go ahead and get just a few more of these. Might as well, like a stack. We're at the point where a few equals a stack. And let me go ahead and make a watering can, because this will speed this process up a lot. Watering can, oh yeah, it requires aqua salis. We could do it though, that's not a problem. Okay, ink sacks, simple catalysts. Okay, I don't have any ink sacks at the moment. That's fine, I can go grab some, it's not a problem, but ink sacks are very easy to automate though, so we will, at some point we'll automate it. Probably whenever we start automating all the blood magic stuff, which isn't too far into our future. And we'll just quickly throw together an automation setup for ink sacks. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a simple catalyst. And then we're going to need just a couple water bottles. And there's our simple catalyst, 2 water bottles, and ink sac, and then what was the rest of it? Aqua salis, cryothium dust. Okay. And we'll get that running. There we go. Aqua salis. And then we need the tank. Order one of these. Do I have... Let's see. Are there any other uses? Yes. Yeah, we need that for ender tanks as well. And we're about to need some of those. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and automate this whole process of making hardened portable tanks. Or not hardened, but, you know, the Enderium tanks. I'm going to go ahead and order like 200 more Enderium. Okay, so watering can. So I'm just going to go ahead and make one of these. And there we go. Watering can. I'm not going to automate that. Don't see much point in it. Alright, and then let's go ahead and just fill this thing up with water. And right click, there we go, we got it. And it's going to stay filled up with water like all the time, so. And put down our breeding sticks, double sticks. Oops. And let's see if we can crossbreed some mushroom spores. Actually, now that I think about it, it's going to require total darkness for mushrooms as well, so. Let me get some cobblestone. Okay, there we go. It's very spooky in here. And that should be, yeah, it's fertile and can grow. Okay, brown mushroom spores. That is the ones that we want. Awesome. So we got these. And that is definitely what we want, because I want to get mushrooms automated. Because we're going to need that for our fermented spider eyes, but we're also going to need it for our moss pie. So, and then I'm going to get a phytogenic insulator, and just for right now I'm going to set this up down here, and I've got to figure out exactly where I want to set this up permanently. But I think for right now this will be good, and what we'll do is we'll just configure, there we go, and we are going to set up an export bus. Yeah, we're not using all the channels yet. So let's get an export bus. There we go. And then I'm also going to want an import bus. And then what we're going to do is let's have our export bus right here. And a crafting card on that. And what I want to tell it to export is rich phytogrow. And then I'm also going to want some fluix cable. And let's get our import bus. Okay, so export bus goes right there. And we're going to say export rich phytogrow. And let me also get a capacity card. And we'll put a capacity card into this so we unlock a few more of these slots here. And we're going to say also export brown mushroom spores. And then what I want to do is say that you can output out the right-hand side both of these slots. And we're going to go ahead and lock the fertilizer slot. And then we're going to say that you can import from the top. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and just connect this up with glass fiber cable. And we're going to say we don't want you to connect. There we go. And then we're going to put our import bus. Oh yeah, it's not going to be able to go on the side right there. Okay, that's fine. We'll do import. Or, I'm sorry, export out the back. And then what we'll do is we'll just plug up our import bus right here. And connect that up. And you can see that this is already filled up with phytogrow. And one thing I want to do is I want to take these brown mushroom spores because there's a chance that we're going to get extras. And so what I want to do is I'm just going to put these into a slot up here. We'll say, yeah, we're going to put it right here. Brown mushroom spores. And you'll notice they already got pulled out and they went into the phytogenic insulator right here. Okay, so then let me get a reservoir. And did I ever automate these? Let me automate reservoirs. And I've got to figure out exactly where I want to put the reservoir. I mean, not the reservoir, but the phytogenic insulator setup. Honestly, I think it's going to be over in that building. But I'm going to go ahead and build that little area out because we're going to have phytogenic insulators for most of our crops. So I don't know if I want it over in that building or in our industrial type district. I mean our agriculture district, not industrial. And for the reservoir, let's get, let me get, that's done. I'm going to want interfluid conduits. And we're going to run these right through here. We're going to say that you can insert fluids. And we'll put the reservoir right here temporarily. And we'll say that you can extract fluids. And then let me get a couple buckets. Let me fill up this reservoir. And that's going to start running. So, and I'll try to get that moved over probably by next episode. I've got to figure out where I want to put it for sure. I've got to think on it because we do have an agriculture district that we'll start putting together soon, which is going to have a lot of our other farms in it. But I haven't started that, so. But I kind of feel like it should be in the tech area because we're growing crops with tech. But I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, it's going to start running, and here in just a second, we are going to create some mushrooms. And there we go. 3 brown mushrooms. As well as 2 brown mushroom spores, which will get imported into the system, but then they'll come back around, and they should get exported back out of the system. I don't know. It's not wanting to, oh, because those say unidentified. Let me change that over, because these don't say unidentified. There we go. That's the issue. Okay, so we are running, and we're creating brown mushrooms. So then what I want to do is let's just grab... where did those mushrooms go that I just made? Oh, how did it make 45 mushrooms just now? What? What? Okay. Unless that was all the mushrooms in the system, maybe. Let's see. We'll put those right into there. So they've got a storage drawer dedicated to them. Let's see. Okay, 48. That's a little bit more reasonable. It's like 3. Because I believe this is going to make, yeah, 3 each time. Alright. And I mean, technically you could put the augment in here to where it voids secondary materials, like excess. And that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with the more permanent setup, is have it just kind of run back into the phytogenic insulator from this output slot, and they'll go right back in there. And then any excess that builds up will just get voided. So, long term, that's the plan, but... Alright, so we've got that in there. And I've already taught it how to make fermented spider eyes. So the next thing that I want to do is let me pop over here because I'm not for sure if I just want to do like an ender chest setup for fermented spider eyes or how I want to do this. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just order 2 ender chests, and then let me also get one of those resonant tanks, because I'm going to set up an automatic recipe for ender tanks. I want to do that real quick as well. And I'm going to go ahead and get some more fluid conduits. We're going to need that in just a second. Okay, and the next thing, while we're waiting on that, because it's going to take a minute, because I ordered 2 ender chests, and actually, I wonder if it's crafting those, because I also ordered 2 tesseracts. Yeah, it's crafting it. Okay. And it made my tesseracts. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's what I need to automate the ender tanks. I'm going to go ahead and do that. All this ender stuff is so expensive. So expensive. And then let me go ahead and just order 2 ender tanks. And while we're waiting on that stuff, let's go ahead and order ourselves like 4 sludge boilers, because that's another thing that I want to deal with this episode. Oh, congealed green slime. Reinforced slates. Okay, I'm going to have to go make some slates. Over to here we go. We'll be over here probably next episode a bit. And definitely the episode after. So, just a heads up. These reinforced slates make, like, craft so fast now that it's no biggie to make them. And I am going to run a quantum setup over there. So we can pretty much, once we get quantum set up over there, you know, that was one reason I wanted to start doing all this automation. One of the reasons is because I want quantum access like everywhere. So we can just like hang out in our dedicated area where we're working and have access to everything. Alright, so there's that. And let's order 4 sludge boilers. So everything is automated for these. Oh yeah, I need congealed green slime. Well, I have 43 blocks right here, so that works. Just in a chest up there, so. Okay, once more with gusto, 4 sludge boilers. Give me those. Because I do want to get that automated today so that we have clay coming in, some of those resources, and then in addition we're kind of getting rid of some of the sludge because it's piling up in all of our machines right now. Alright, so our ender tanks, these are done. Our ender chests are also done. And while our sludge boilers are crafting, we are going to use these ender chests. And let me just get a little bit of this floral black powder, like 2 pieces, that's fine. And for right now, once again, temporary placement. But we're going to put our chest down right here. We're going to go white, black, white. And let me get an export bus. And I'm going to want, oh, also a crafting card. And let me get a fermented spider eye. And a zombie head. Alright, and what I want to do is I just want to put down an export bus right here. Put a crafting card into that. And let me also get a capacity card. And we're going to say fermented spider eyes and zombie heads. And we're going to go ahead and set this to export using round robin mode. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of these items in there. So these slots are kind of locked for right now. They're not really locked, but it's possible I could run out of some material. I mean, everything's automated over here, but maybe zombie heads run out or something like that. It's very, very distant future concern. Very, very distant future. And by that time, I'm probably going to change this up a little bit. I'm just debating if I want to put quantum connection over there, because that's like the only place where I don't see myself needing quantum, really. So for right now, we're just going to do this. This will work perfectly for the time being. So we'll just plug that up. And that's starting to fill this up, as you can see. Okay. That's just so that we can automate the nutrient distillation aspect of it. And then what I want to do is just pop over here. And let's see. I've got this conduit right here that runs down with all that nutrient distillation. And I think I'm going to use that as our connection that plugs up down into the tesseract, instead of using like ender tanks or something like that. The ender tanks I made are for something different, but alright, basically what I want to do is I want to go and I'm going to replace this. I want to plug up a pressurized fluid conduit right there that connects into this tesseract here, and then we'll just bring it up and over. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tap it into this nutrient distillation line that's right here. And that way it can pull nutrient distillation out. Where's my wrench at? This. And nutrient distillation can be sent. Now right now there's no place for nutrient distillation to go, so it's not going to actually end up going anywhere. But once we plug up the library system, then it'll have a place to go. So I think that's what I want to do. And then if we pop up here, let's go ahead and set up the ender chest. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have this setting, say like right here, floral black powder. There we go. And then we can say that you can pull from this side. So it's going to start pulling off fermented spider eyes, zombie heads, and making nutrient distillation for us. Alright. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop back over to the library. And what we'll do is we'll just plug in a conduit right here. And just bring this down and around. Winter's grasp.
Winter's grasp. The weather outside is frightful.
Winter's grasp always makes me think of Harry Potter. Like, for whatever reason, that's what it makes me think of. Okay. I hate that these fluid conduits try to connect to every ME conduit they can find, because it makes no sense whatsoever. No, that's not... Let me get ender conduits for this, instead of just normal fluid, like for this side. So we'll just do ender fluid conduit right here. We'll say that you can extract. And just kind of bring this over. I do not know why it thinks it can connect ME conduits. It makes no plausible sense whatsoever. And there we go. We'll just plug it into that. And we should see nutrient distillation building up in this. So now what we can do is we can see all of our books that are connected. Right now I just have that one bookcase. And that way we can just use it to access all the enchanted books from one place. Instead of having to go over here and go to the library or go through the bookcases and all of that, we can just access everything through this terminal. And it's kind of like our filing terminal sort of thing. And then, of course, I could also dump books into this area. Like if I found maybe, I don't know, enchanted book or something somewhere, I could come through here and I could just dump it into this return area. Anyways, that's that. I've just got to clean up the walls and stuff like that is the main thing. Look outside of the library right now. Winter's grasp. Okay, now let's pop over here. Let's set up our sludge boilers just really, really fast. And this is super simple, honestly. Let's get... They should be done crafting, I should think. They are. Great. And then let's pop up here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to set up... let me actually grab some dye. We're going to color this. Let's go ahead and set these down. Let's color them white, black, white, white, black, white. And all we're going to do is this drum right here is filtered for sludge. And so I'm just going to pull this drum up, set down our ender tank right there. And then whenever we go set up the sludge boiler, I can just set up this ender tank, and that part of it's done. Alright, now the worst thing about the sludge boiler is that it does emit harmful particles. So we definitely don't want it somewhere where we're going to be a lot. You know, we kind of want it out of the way. And I think where I want to put it is, I'm going to put it down here. So that way it is completely out of the way. So let me go ahead and mark here. It's going to be kind of like at the bottom of the bridge. And I'm going to do like a little thing down there. But right now I just want to get the sludge boiler set up. I mean, I could just stick them like literally under the ground. That's an option as well. But like I'm trying not to just hide a bunch of stuff like under the ground. And I have an idea for the build that's going to kind of fit the sludge boilers and everything. So we'll just pop through here, and right through here should be where we want to be at. There we go. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. There were torches down here, but kobolds keep stealing them. Okay, so energy is going to come out of there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have our sludge boiler setting like here, 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 and here. This way we can still see them, and they're still going to be part of the build, but they'll be kind of out of the way, which is what I want. I don't want them to be anywhere near us. Alright, got just a little bit more conduit here, and I've got item conduits on me. And I'll just pop down here, and I guess... I don't know if I really need the energy to go... No, I won't need the energy to go into the ground, I don't think. Okay, so we'll just bring the energy conduits over, bring them down. Actually, don't need that one right there. We'll just plug all of those up. So there we go, they've got power. And then we just have to send our sludge over, which is as simple as setting down our ender tank. And we'll put it like... this I do want into the ground because I can't hide it like I can the facades. So we'll put the ender tank right here. And then just pull the fluid up with conduits. Oops. We'll say... Let's see. I don't know if that has any sludge in it yet or not. I don't think so. And before I plug that up, because it's going to start like poisoning us as soon as it gets plugged up, let's go ahead and get ourselves an ender chest. I went ahead and pre-ordered it. And the ender chest we are going to put right here. And we'll go ahead and color this blue, 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 which of course is our primary insert line. And then what we're going to do is just plug up some item conduits. Now this is also the line that we insert items as well, but these sludge boilers aren't the fastest thing. It's not going to affect us at all, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's do that. Say that you can insert. Okay, now it's ready to plug up. So we're going to put pressurized fluid. I don't need that one right there. We'll do it just like that. And so then if we say extract, always active, that's going to start running. If I pop down here, for example, these aren't really working at the moment because they don't have any sludge. Let me put this down for just a moment. Because I have all those drums I'm going to have to empty out as well. If we start extracting that, there we go. We have hunger and poison from being near these things. So, there we go. So that's running, and before long, we should see items coming in from that. So, for example, if I was to... Let me break off this import bus for a moment. Oh, well, there we go. There's gravel, dirt, coarse dirt, clay, and dirt. Okay. And I kind of want to see what all comes in. I know we've got a place for clay at the moment. But I want to make sure that each of these has a drawer available to them. Because I know, like... gravel is probably just going to get trashed, honestly. Let's see, what all can sludge make? Okay, basically 12 different things. So it can make sand, clay blocks, dirt, and coarse dirt, gravel, red sand, soul sand, mycelium, podzol, netherrack, heat sand, and tainted soil. Okay, so I've let it run for a little while, and we have 11 of the 12 different items. The only thing we don't have is tainted soil. Tainted soil is very uncommon to get. So let's go ahead and grab this stuff. We got clay, coarse dirt, dirt, podzol, sand, red sand, heat sand, netherrack, soul sand, mycelium, and gravel. Yeah, that's all of them that we've got so far. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and just double check, make sure that all of our drawers, that we have a place for these to go. I know soul sand, netherrack, actually I tell you what, probably the quickest way to do this is just insert everything into the drawer controller and then whatever's left. Coarse dirt does not have a spot. And let's pop it into there. We'll do podzol, red sand, heat sand, mycelium. And then what we're going to do is let's get ourselves... Uh-oh. A big reactor shut off and I don't know why. Like it just stopped running. Okay, I'm not really for sure what's happened here. Or why this has stopped working. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Like why this is just not working. It's got yellorium. And I mean the redstone mode, I even pulled off the redstone conduit for a minute. But it's just not, it's not working. And I have no clue. I even broke and replaced the controller and everything. I'm going to try relogging, maybe? I don't know. I don't know why it's shut off. And like I've told it to turn on, but it's just like, nah. No thanks. I've never had this happen before, but it's just like... like I don't get it. And it's like I can't really do anything while that's down. Like, well, it's emptied out 2 of the drums so far. So that's good, but I don't know. I have no clue why this isn't working. No clue whatsoever. This is bizarre. I don't know. This is crazy. Well, okay, I tell you what, because I can't do anything until I get this sorted. I'm going to mess around with it and see what I can do to fix it. Because this is like all of my power generation at the moment. So, I mean, those aren't on. I don't know. I've never seen this before. Like, restarting it doesn't do anything. Okay, I guess I'm gonna end out the episode here and see what I can do to fix this. And let me know if you guys have had this issue and what you do to fix it or anything, because, like, I have no power, so it's not a whole lot that I can do. That I threw on the ground whenever I moved this. Because it got some stuff from the Tesseracts, but I don't know. I mean, it's got fuel and everything. I can't figure out why it would not be working. So, okay, well, yeah, I guess I'm going to end out the episode here. I know it's pretty close to wrapping up point anyway, and I'm going to see if I can figure out what's causing this to just not work anymore. Next episode will be a world download. I'm planning for the next episode to be out on Saturday, so tomorrow. And it's a perfect time for a world upload because next episode we'll be doing some exploration. Now, depending on if I get this big reactor fixed or not by tomorrow, like in time for tomorrow, it might be Sunday or it might be Monday. We'll see. Because I don't want to do the world upload with a broken reactor. So, I'll see what I can do to fix that. I may just have to tear it down and reset it. I don't know. It's been a while. It was like in one of the first few episodes, but I know somebody said that they had that issue happen to them with their big reactor, like it shut off. And I'm going to go back and double check. I'm going to message them and see if they ever fixed it, like what they had to do to fix it. So maybe I can get that sorted by, like, in time to do the next video for Saturday. We shall see. But if not, it'll be on Sunday or Monday or something. I'm going to try to get that sorted, though. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And if you did, as always, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. Once again, this is kind of the transition from tech into magic. So we're pretty much done, at least for a while, with tech. I mean, there's a few little things that we'll touch on and do as time goes on. And I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up around the base as far as some of the tech stuff goes. Like, I'm going to move this photogenic insulator, and I'll probably spruce this system up a little bit at some point, but I think right now it's going to suit my needs just fine. But other than that, I mean, the main things that we're going to be doing from here on out, I think with the majority of the series, is the only tech thing that I can think of that's going to take up a little bit of time is RF Tools Control, or RF Tools, I mean, a bit later on, but I think most of the series from here on out is magic and exploration, which I'm excited about. I'm very, very excited about. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and let me check one thing real quick, because I don't know if we completed any quests. Yes. Whoa. We have a bunch here. First up, Agricraft, 16 crop sticks. We get to pick. I'm just going to take spruce, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. And watering can, we get an Anthermis hammer. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then we also completed Aquasalis. So they're going to give us 2 dark steel for that. So there we go. And this is just a melee weapon. I don't think it's actually on par with our current sword as far as damage goes. So, but anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.